USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ MV.
Charlamagne the guy.
Peace to the planet. It's Tuesday.
Yes, it's Election Day Tuesday.
Today is Election Day, baby.
That's
Election
right.
Day, lunar eclipse, blood moon Tuesday.
Man, that blood moon ushered in something new. Because I don't know how I made it to work on time this morning. I know for a fact I left the house at the usual time that gets me here late, and I made it early. I don't know how that happened.
Well, schools are closed today.
That ain't got nothing to do with the way I was driving.
For elections.
Not all of them. Some of them closing early.
Yeah, I said some of them are closed for us. I know traffic was not as bad for me driving in this morning.
Oh, we never have no traffic coming from Jersey. I just be late. And I don't know how I don't know how I got it this morning. I looked at the clock when I left the house. I was like, I'm gonna get there about 6:03, 6:04. Like, wow, I made it at 5:57.
And some people were up late trying to wait for that Powerball jackpot.
Not me. I was waiting on the blood moon.
Because I was up last night too. I went to the Library Lions Gala in New York. It's for the New York Public Library. And our mayor was there, Eric Adams, Chuck Schumer was there. A lot of different people showed up for that, where they honored different people in their respective fields, arts, culture, letters, scholarship. They get named Library Lions. And then I was up like, okay, let's see what this Powerball is. But there was some type of snafu.
I hope y'all charged y'all crystals last night by that full moon, damn it. Okay? Did any of y'all ain't stay up to watch the blood moon? It's not going to be another one for 3 years.
Yeah, I was up.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it. I saw it.
I went to sleep.
Oh, so you was up 2:15 in the morning?
I couldn't even, I couldn't sleep last night. I was up all night. I was up looking at everything that was happening.
Then you could see it. I mean, you could see it.
I literally probably went to sleep for like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I passed out. I was knocked out early.
Yeah, it was in its totality like around 2:15, I believe. But you could see if you was up like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock this morning, you could see it.
No, I was knocked out.
Not at like 2, but you could see it. Big, beautiful full moon.
Okay.
I hope you charged your crystals.
All right.
I went through a time warp this morning, I'm telling you, because there's no way I'm supposed to be here on time, bro. Okay.
We also just had daylight savings too, so
that still exists. I thought they canceled it.
Not yet.
No, it still exists.
Some people feel a little more well rested because even though here right now for us it's 6:02, but it's really like 7:02.
All right, well, let's get the show cracking. Stephanie Young will be joining us this morning.
Oh,
She's
the great
executive
Stephanie
director
Young
of When We All Vote.
That's right, the great Stephanie Young. She's, like you said, the executive director of Michelle Obama's When We All Vote. And you see all of those When We All Vote campaigns and all of that good stuff. Stephanie's handling a lot of that.
Yeah, she's a Hampton alum.
But they have partners too, though. So a lot of that crazy stuff y'all be seeing, that she ain't got nothing to do with it.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
We're going to talk about all that. And then we got our front page news. What are we talking about?
Yes, we are going to talk about elections, and we are going to talk about that record $1.9 billion Powerball jackpot. I've never heard of this happening, but it's been delayed.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get into some front page news. Now in Monday Night Football, the Ravens beat the Saints 27-13. The Ravens' record is 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
Now I did see Dwight Howard said he's signing on to play overseas.
Playing in Taiwan.
Yeah, he's
Taiwan Tadpoles or something like that.
I don't know if they're the Tadpoles.
What is it? I know the Taiwan something. Taiwan Toads or something. It's something random. It's some random creature.
Yeah. So he's playing over there. I'm not sure the creature.
I know you got to make me look. I know I saw it yesterday. Oh, the Taiwan. Yeah, the Taiwan leopards.
The Taiwan leopards.
Yeah, but it's something else. It's Taoyuan. I guess that's a town in Taiwan.
Taoyuan?
Nah, I guess.
It's the Taiwan.
Taiwan leopards.
Okay, he's playing for the leopards.
Yes, the Taiwan. That's not too random.
Tadpoles.
Yeah, I thought it was a tadpole.
It was a tadpole.
It's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
So he's playing overseas. No NBA team wanted to pick him up. I wonder what's if a team will pick up Melo. Because Melo averaged 14 points a game last year.
Melo might serve Melo to go over to China too, or somewhere over there and ball out for a little while.
He can play for the Tadpoles.
I mean, these guys at the end of their career anyway, they good. Like Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, they legends. It's solidified and certified.
And I think they should still play.
The game has changed a lot though. It might not be for them anymore. This style of NBA.
What else you got, Yeezy?
All right. Well, for people who are checking to see if they got that Powerball $1.9 billion record jackpot, you got to wait a little longer. It's been delayed over security protocols. So they posted tonight's Powerball drawing has been delayed due to a participating lottery needing extra time to complete the required security protocols. Powerball has strict security requirements that must be met by all 48 lotteries before a drawing can occur.
Can you keep buying tickets though? Can you keep buying tickets? So you can't buy tickets anymore.
No, you cannot buy a
ticket. They should let you still buy tickets if they ain't gonna call the numbers yet.
I mean, I must have won, and the Illuminati is like, no, we're not giving that nigga that. You got to stop this right now.
You know, I don't think that helps security protocol to give you more time.
By the way, I do not know when Monday drawing started happening. I've been playing the Powerball my whole existence since the Powerball came to South Carolina years ago. And I remember it being on Wednesday and Saturday. I don't know when this Monday thing started happening. I didn't hear this till yesterday when you said it. And I'm glad she said it because I went and bought me a ticket.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
I don't know when that happened.
All right, now today is Election Day, so here's the information that you guys need to know. Election Day is always the first Tuesday after November 1st. That's why today is November 8th. And so you cannot vote online or by text. You can't do that. So if anybody ever tried to tell you that, or you got a message saying you can vote here, you cannot do that.
They should let us soon, though, right?
I feel like that has to be coming. But then I also feel like, you know, I mean, look, if you can bank online and do those things, it should be secure enough at some point.
Is it going to be secure enough
for you to be able to vote online? We do so much stuff online that is secure. Think about bills that we pay.
That's true.
You know, transfers. I don't even go to the bank anymore. I do everything online.
That's right.
That's true.
All right, so to vote on Election Day, you have to go to your designated polling place, and you can find where that is by putting in your home address and poll locators on websites like vote.org, of course, whenweallvote.org, or on your local elections website. If you need accommodations, if you have a disability, you need help with voting, the polling place will likely offer special assistance, and the agency recommends contacting your local elections office for details in case you need any of those things. Now, beware of voter suppression. Make sure you know your rights. So if the polls close while you're still in line, stay in line. Just to FYI, I don't feel like, oh, it's closed, I got to turn around and go home. No, stay in line. Now, if a poll worker says that your name is not on the list of registered voters, the ACLU recommends that voters ask the poll worker to double check the spelling of their name. They also recommend double checking that the voter is at the correct polling place. If a poll worker still can't find your name, or if you cannot travel to the correct polling place, ask for a provisional ballot. You're entitled to that provisional ballot even if you aren't in the poll book. And then election officials will investigate whether you're qualified to vote and registered. If you are, then your provisional ballot will be counted. If you happen to be turned away or denied that provisional ballot, then the ACLU recommends reporting the experience to local election officials or calling the Election Protection Hotline. That's run by the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under law in case you run into any issues on Election Day. That number is 866-687-8683.
Yeah, I'll be voting later today.
Me too.
Definitely be voting later
So if there's any issues, call that number if you see or experience voter intimidation. And that can look a lot of different ways. If somebody tries to deter you, if somebody tries to influence you, if you see people with guns or being violent near a polling site, if there's any type of verbal or physical threats of violence, any confrontations with voters who are wearing official-looking uniforms, any harassment, anybody spreading false information about voting requirements or methods, any of those things, that's what voter intimidation can look like. Okay?
I'm looking at this article about the Powerball jackpot being over $1 billion, and they got the nerve to have the headline, "Here's why you should keep quiet if you win." And it says, if you win the Powerball, you shouldn't tell anyone. You ain't got to tell me that.
Duh. You see homie that wore that outfit when he went to go pick up his check?
That's in China.
All right. You ain't got to tell me that.
That's me.
I'm glad that y'all got to give some people these warnings, but you ain't got to tell me.
But aren't some places, don't you have to say who you are? Isn't it different state by state?
Yeah, it's different state by state.
Yeah, some people have to in some states.
Not in mine. Not in the states that I'm from. Not South Carolina or Jersey. Okay? I live in New Jersey. I'm from South Carolina. We remain anonymous. Okay?
All right. Well, that is your front page news. I just want to tell you guys, Steph Curry is ridiculous.
You ain't got to tell me.
He's busy. My goodness gracious.
You know what's so crazy?
And when y'all piss him off, it gets worse.
Yeah, listen, the GOAT.
Go 47 last night.
Look at this. You see this? This is a South Carolina Powerball ticket. And
let me see the numbers.
Don't worry about that.
Let me see the numbers.
No.
Get close on the numbers.
This is actually an old ticket, and this is a new new one. This is a New Jersey Powerball ticket. Okay?
You know how much you get if you get the cash value for
over
the Powerball?
$900 million.
$929.1 million.
This
one
Unc do. Okay.
Get it off your chest.
Go play my numbers for me, nephew.
800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open.
You need the what?
800-585-1051.
Well, I know what you was about to say. If you need a what?
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Wake up, wake up. Wake your ass.
This is your time to get it off your chest. Whether you're mad or blessed, we want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Yo, what it is, man? It's your boy, Blah 80, man.
Blah 80, what up?
Line 80?
Yo, Block 80.
Hi, Blah.
Block 80.
What's up?
What's the word?
What's going on, man? I
What's
just had
the
called
deal?
y'all last week. Remember, I had did a little freestyle for y'all.
Yep, I remember.
I feel like you about to do another one.
Yeah, I got one for y'all, but I got to get it off my chest, man. I ain't like how DJ Envy was rushing me last time. I was trying to put my promo out there and stuff, trying to tell them what song it was from.
Bro, you rap.
Just go ahead and rap. Just go rap.
Oh, he about to do it to you
Bro,
again.
you rap for 6 minutes.
Man, I ain't rap for those 6 minutes, man. But these people love 2 minutes of fame, man. You be cutting them short and stuff, man. You gotta let them.
Hey, you wasting your time, bro.
See, that's what
You
I'm
better
talking about.
go.
See?
He wants
Go,
to be. He
go.
wants to speak for the people. He's speaking for the people.
You ready?
Let's go. It wouldn't be right if I didn't hop on the beat and just do it. My foot is some night. She look at me twice. She looking up. Her man only look if he looking to fight. My hood got my back like my hoodie too tight. If it don't come back twice, you ain't cooking it right. I gave her a foot of some give me for life. Let's hope that ain't your wife. Got that drama. I'm hustling harder for checks with that improper grammar. That'll be 2 minute commas. 2 minute snakes had to move from the jungle when losers was subtle. I'm running the I could use me a medal. My life is a movie. I park on the bezel. Drake in his ice was said, hot as the devil. Drake in his ice was said, hot as the devil. Mama say, son, believe in yourself. The game is in need of your help. If you don't chase it, you're cheating yourself. So I'm taking the risk like I'm bleeding to death. Fur coats like I'm freezing to death.
Hey.
She ain't right there, she could get left. Gave her red shots because she needed some butt. Drinks dirty like I peed in a cup.
She needed some butt.
Oh.
Why she needed some butt?
That's all you heard, right?
Why butt? I ain't never heard a woman say she need no butt now. Why she needed some butt?
She ain't had nothing.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something.
Like a BBL.
Hey, it sounds like you got something, but the phone not doing you no justice. Direct people to some music, man, because it sounds like you got something. I'm not even joking. It sounds like you got something, bro.
Yeah, man, my music on all platforms. Block 80, that's BLOK.80.
BLOK.80, Block 80. Go check out Block 80.
You gotta get
y'all.
a little breath control too, in between.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm driving and stuff right now, so y'all ain't caught me.
Nah, listen, that's
running.
why I said the phone ain't doing you no justice, but you sound like you got something, Block 80, Block.80.
Well, good luck to you, brother.
See, Envy let him rock today.
Block.80.
Hello, who's this?
Big Chain Rob.
What's up, brother? Take us off Bluetooth and get it off your chest.
All right, there you go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, what's going on, brother?
Peace, King.
Inshallah, how y'all doing this morning?
Holla.
Blessed, black, and highly favored. How are you, sir?
I can't complain, man. I'm saying, brother, I like to get off my chest. I think with all that's going on, man, I think we all forgot about Brett Favre still down there in Mississippi.
No, we
Living
didn't.
his best life, catching fish, frying it. They ain't crucifying him like how they do my boy Kyrie, man, and I don't like it.
Well, I will say, that's. I get what you're saying in the media, but 5 people have been charged behind that Brett Favre situation. I don't know if they'll do jail time, but 5 people have been charged. And the other thing was Brett Favre paid that money back. The $1.1 million that he got, he paid that money back a while ago.
Well, guess what? I don't care. I want to hear his name.
Take him down.
I want to see their name on the TV screens. I want to see him on the ticker.
Yeah.
I want to see, man, it's bogus, bro. Like, I don't like it, man.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something else. I wonder how much of that is our fault. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Social media carries these stories to another level.
Right.
The Kyrie Irving thing might have already died down if it wasn't this big conflict going on social media.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a conflict that happens. Now it's, black people engaging with Jewish people and black people are arguing with each other and this and that. Like it becomes a bigger storm, and I think a lot of that has to do with how we carry stories on social media.
I agree. Because the Favre story just went away. On social media.
And I will say, I will say the sports networks, ESPN, I don't see the Brett Favre story on ESPN the way they discuss the Kyrie thing. But I think the only reason they're talking about the Kyrie thing so much is because everybody on social media
Absolutely. They're following the trending topics.
That's right. That's right.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Here 5-1. The Breakfast Club. Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlamagne the God. This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
So you better have the same energy.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
What's going on, man? It's Dave. I called not too long ago. I was trying to jump off the dress.
Hey, what's up, Dave? Get it off your chest, bro.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, good morning, Envy, Charlamagne, Angela Yee. How y'all doing?
What up?
All is well. Hey, so just wanted to give a quick birthday shout out to my 2 daughters, Zoe and Chloe. It's their birthday.
Zoe and Chloe, happy birthday, ladies.
Thank you. They're gonna appreciate that. Daddy can't be there because he at work, but hey, this weekend we gonna make it happen.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, hey, I appreciate y'all, man.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
And, don't go nowhere you can't take Jesus.
Don't go nowhere you can't take Jesus.
Where's
Don't
that?
go anywhere you can't take Jesus with you.
Oh, got you. I was confused.
Yeah,
I was like,
confused,
what?
too. I was like, what? Hello, who's this?
What's good, Envy? This KD, man.
Good morning, KD. Get it off your chest.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to talk to the truckers out there riding around the U.S. You know, keep their head up. You know, we in trying times right now. From last year, diesel's almost double the price. The rates are down 40%. You know, the market's oversaturated with new drivers, you know, since everyone's selling the game on Instagram and whatnot. So, you know, we getting crushed right now. You know, diesel $7 up in Pennsylvania, $5 in South Carolina. So, you know, we really hurt right now. And the brokers, they don't have to show what they make. So if the load is going for $1,000, they could give it to you for $200, and you don't know they're keeping the 8. They don't have to show what they're keeping.
I will say this though, I deal with a lot of trucking companies, and I use a lot of trucks to carry, you know, cars and supplies up and down the highway. I will say this though, as long as your trucking company is a good company, people will start rating those other companies horrible, because I've had a couple of instances where people have traveled and brought cars and damaged my cars and did things that they weren't supposed to do because they were just ishy companies. So if you're a good, strong company, when you start, you know, when you really start using these trucking companies, you start looking for great companies. So if you're a great company, you'll get used and you keep your price high, bro.
Yeah, we're doing our thing, man. We're trying to stay compliant, stay safe, and protect people's property like it's our own.
Absolutely.
Yo, Envy, man, I like what you're doing with the real estate. See the God, Angela, shout out to y'all. Shout out to my man with the honey jerk sauce behind you. My man down there with the crab shack down in Georgetown, South Carolina. But
yes, sir.
All love, man. Everybody have a good day. Be safe. All love, and get out there and vote. You heard?
All right,
Absolutely. I'm looking for the honey jerk sauce now.
All
so
right.
I can shout it out, but I can't find it.
And somebody called and they said it's not true. So I just want to tell everybody, if you live in Jersey, as of January 2020, Governor Phil Murphy signed on that the winners of any lotto can stay anonymous under a new law.
I said that.
Yeah, we
I
said
know,
that.
but somebody said no, it's not true. So
Said it was not
Who
true.
said that?
A couple people said it wasn't true.
Let me tell you something about people. They don't
I was
read.
like, who said
I know, but
that?
that's what I'm explaining to.
The New Jersey is absolutely positively you can remain anonymous.
As of this year, before you had to be known, but as of this year, they signed a new law where you don't have to be seen.
Let me tell you something about Uncle Charlotte. I plan my life out, so I already know what's going to happen in my life. So I've been looked at that. Okay, you can remain anonymous in Jersey.
I'm just telling because
Yes.
a couple people, 2 people actually hit us up and said that's not true. But yes, you can be anonymous in Jersey. But get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. Now we got rumors on the way.
Yes, and let's talk about another joint album. Now these guys are saying that their album is harder than Her Loss. That's Drake and 21 Savage's album. So when I tell you who they are, let's see if you agree that this could be true.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Everybody, it's DJ, Envy, Angela, Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. I need to apologize to Yee, too.
Yes, you do.
For the last couple of years, I've been making fun of Yee in the television program she's been watching.
90 Day Fiance, baby.
Yes,
That's my show.
90 Day Fiance. I was in the barbershop yesterday, and the barber had it on. And man, that show was
is
good.
amazing.
Man, that show was good.
They got all kind of spin-offs.
That's what they watch in Dominican barbershops? Wow.
Well, is he Dominican? I don't know if he's Dominican, but yes, that's what
Which
I watched.
person
the
are you
barbershop.
talking about? There is a couple.
Yeah, so if you don't know, I just want to tell everybody the premise right fast. So I didn't know. So 90 Day Fiance is somebody from the U.S. goes out the country and finds somebody to marry. They have 90 days to either, go through with the marriage.
You have to get a K-1 visa, and it's 90 days to get a
send them back to
K-1
their
visa.
country.
And so in order for you to get, you have 90 days and to get married
Bro,
so
it's
that y'all
good.
can stay together.
Bro, it's good.
It's one of the highest rated shows on TV.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
That's right, but I'm telling you it's good.
But
You need to watch
I'm very familiar with it, and I know it's one of the highest rated shows on TV.
But you never seen it. You got to watch it.
No,
I said the same thing.
I don't want to watch it.
It's always on,
but
too,
it's
by
good.
the way.
But you're telling people something like it's
No,
new.
I'm telling you.
No, you're not.
It's new to him. It's new to him.
He was like, I want to explain to y'all what
And then I
90 Day
had to-
Fiance is.
And then I had to tell him.
I had no idea what it was.
Because
Red,
he
did you know?
saw Michael and Angela, and he likes that couple. But there's a lot of great couples. Soldier Boy is amazing. I actually interviewed him before.
Who's the dude with no neck?
That's Big Ed.
No neck Ed. Oh,
Big Ed. He actually
he's good
found
too.
somebody else. But I told you to look up his. His was amazing when he went to the Philippines.
Who's the one with the Dominican dude?
Oh yes, and they had a baby.
Chantel and what's the Dominican?
Oh no, you talking about the one that got the spinoff. All right, can I do my rumors?
This show been on for almost 10 years. Y'all
Sorry, I
know
just
that.
found it today. I found it yesterday in the
I mean, it's
barbershop.
No, I watched the show.
That's what I'm saying.
Envy just discovered
It's been
it.
on since like the early like 2013.
So what? It's pretty good. I found it yesterday. I just want to tell people.
Shout out to
Jesus
90 Day
Christ,
Fiance.
You need to watch it. You don't watch it. You need to watch it.
No, I don't have enough time. Today's election day too. In case you want to inform anybody about that, tell anybody. I may not know.
I let them know 10 years later.
Okay.
Let's get to the rumors. Let's go.
It's about time. What's going on?
Rumor report. Rumor report. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
All right. Well, right now there are 4 women who are accusing Harvey Weinstein of attacking them. And one of the Jane Does spoke out in court yesterday. Now, during the opening statement, the prosecutor told the jury the alleged victims would describe Harvey Weinstein's deformities in detail. Because of an infection, his testicles were actually taken from his scrotum and put into his inner thighs.
What does that even mean?
Well, I Googled it. That's why I was in here like, whoa.
That sounds disgusting.
All right, so the prosecutor said none of the Jane Does will describe his anatomy perfectly, but most of them will be able to describe these abnormalities that they observed during the assault. So he's already serving a 23-year sentence for rape and sexual assault in New York. He's on trial now for allegedly sexually assaulting 4 women in L.A. between 2004 and 2013. Yesterday, Jane Doe 2 testified that he sexually assaulted her, and this was in Beverly Hills. And she said she and another woman met him at the hotel to talk about her script. At some point, the other woman left her. She said, "This was a girl I thought was my new friend." So her giving me this look while she closed the door, I just couldn't believe that she would do that to me, to another girl. There's a girl code. You don't do that. She said that Harvey Weinstein took off his clothes quickly. I was disgusted. I had never seen a big guy like that naked. She said, I actually laughed nervously and thought, no, no, no. She said he continued to talk. And regarding the assault, she said that he started to grope her and tried to touch her vagina, but she blocked his hand from penetrating her. But she said he was grabbing her breast and masturbating, and she was frozen in place. She was scared that he would hurt her if she protested, and she said that she then went to the car and cried. She was in complete shock and didn't know what to do.
So, go back to what did you say now? The scrotum. They took his scrotum and did what with it?
Put it in his thighs.
That's all you heard?
So they took the skin from his scrotum and put it on his thighs? They took his testicles and his actual
his
balls.
testicles were actually taken from his scrotum and put into his inner thighs.
Why?
It's some type of...
That's all you heard? Would you play the whole story? That's all you heard?
I mean, I heard the whole story, but
you know,
she just
I was over here
that.
Googling it, trying to figure out what that is. I saw something like a rare disorder called Fournier gangrene. It looks very nasty.
That's what I'm saying. Why would they take the testicles out and put them somewhere else if they're no good?
They didn't talk about what the actual thing was that he has, but... All right, now Boosie Badass says that he has an album with T.I. coming and that it's harder than her loss. He was talking to Fat Joe, and here's what he said.
That Drake 21 Savage is going hard right now.
I heard Drake and 21 album. It's hard, but I don't think it's harder than our album. I got 3 of them.
Yo, Boosie, you don't think Drake and 21 is harder than the Boosie T.I.? So you said T.I. coming Rubber Band Man.
Man, it's Rubber Band Man and Badass, man. Man, this hey, it's different. Wait till you hear it, bro. This different.
Who would be surprised by that, though?
And then T.I. responded, he said what the F he said.
That's right. Who would be surprised by that? T.I. and my top 7 favorite rappers of all time, and Boosie Boo is Boosie Boo. Okay? Like, that wouldn't surprise me. But it might probably be a generational thing, too, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a generation 10 years younger than me that'll tell me I'm tripping for saying that. And then, you know, people my age, you know, would love the Boosie and T.I. project.
All right. Well, that is your rumor report.
All right. We got front page news next. What are we talking about?
Yes, let's talk about elections. And there's already a legal fight that has started. That's in Pennsylvania. We'll tell you what it's about.
All right. We'll get to that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
There are so many podcasts out right now, and it takes a team of people to bring them together. Whether you're hiring for a podcast or for your growing business, one place makes it easy. ZipRecruiter, and now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/breakfast.
Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, on Monday Night Football, the Ravens beat the Saints 27-13. And what else we got, Easy?
All right, now there's a legal fight in Pennsylvania over mail-in ballots. So Democrats sued yesterday demanding that undated or incorrectly dated mail-in ballots be counted in Pennsylvania's election. That could end up determining which party controls the Senate. That lawsuit was filed in part by Democratic Senate candidate John Fetterman's campaign. They said a provision in state law requiring that mail-in ballots include the date on the outside of the envelopes violates federal law. And so the plaintiffs, who also include the campaign arms of House and Senate Democrats, insist that the date requirement is immaterial and that enforcing it would violate the 1964 Civil Rights Act. So in other words, the outside of the envelope, now they're saying, has to have the date on it in order for it to qualify.
Yeah, I have a feeling that a lot of these election races that we see today aren't going to be decided today, and it's going to be a lot of that over the next couple of weeks.
Because a lot of people voted early, too, and there's a lot of mail-ins, and so there's going to be a lot of things that have to happen. And so, any orders disqualifying ballots could end up affecting the election outcome, and that's going to be a tough one. So
it's going to be weeks. Probably be sitting around Thanksgiving arguing about this.
Because you might not know on the return envelope that you have to have a date, and then they're going to say it doesn't count because the return envelope, come on. That's could potentially cause thousands of voters to not be able to have their vote count. And what you do need to know for Election Day, which is today, we're going to give you some helpful tips so that everything can go nice and smooth for you. WhenWeAllVote.org, that's one place that you can go to see everything as far as who's on the ballot, where you can go vote, what the deadline is, all of those things. Election Day is always the first Tuesday after November 1st. That's why it is today. And so the only way you can vote today is going to your designated polling place. If you haven't voted early already, you can find that by putting in your home address and poll locators. That's going to be on whenweallvote.org, vote.org. You can even Google it and see. If you need any type of accommodations for a disability or you need help with voting using a minority language at your polling site, they should be able to offer you special assistance. If there's any issues with that, contact your local elections office for details. Local voter guides can help you stay informed on who is on the ballot. Like we said, sample ballots are also very handy, so you know who and what you are voting for, who and what is on the ballot. Also, make sure, according to USA Gov, that's a federal service that curates government information, they recommend that you bring notes, a voter's guide, or a sample ballot with you into the voting booth. You're allowed to do that so that you can make sure that your choices for the candidates and ballot is correct. Now, some places do restrict the use of cell phones. So they said bring a paper copy instead of using notes on your phone, just in case where you go, they say you can't use your cell phone. Many states won't require you to bring your voter registration card to the polls, but the majority do expect some form of identification to vote in person. So make sure you check your local election rules. Now, if the polls close while you're still in line, stay in line. If there's any issues, they should be remedied quickly. If there's a mistake made on your ballot, you can ask for a new one. If the voting machines are down, you are also allowed to ask for a paper ballot. So don't let them tell you the machines are down. Sorry, we can't do anything. You can ask for a paper ballot. Now, if they tell you your name is not on the list of registered voters, ask them to double check. Ask them to double check the spelling of the name. Also, double check that you're at the correct polling place. If they still can't find you, ask for a provisional ballot. You're allowed to do that. If you're not in the poll book, they'll investigate whether you're qualified to vote and registered. And if you are, then your provisional ballot will count. If you're turned away or if you're denied that provisional ballot, they said to please call the Election Protection Hotline. That number is 866-687-8683.
I wonder always, why is an election day a holiday? Like, why do they make people go to work and go to school? Like, they should make it easy for everyone to go and just take the time to go and vote, because voting in some places isn't something you can just go do right quick.
Yeah, some people are waiting on long lines. It's an all-day thing.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not a holiday.
Now, Donald Trump teased yesterday that he will be making a very big announcement on November 15th at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. So he was at a rally in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, so he's going to announce that he's running for president in 2024.
That's what people have been saying.
I heard it was going to be today.
Well, he's making an announcement November 15th. That's the date.
Yeah.
He said.
Okay. Yeah, because I was hearing that it was going to be today. They did say it was going to be any time between now and 2 weeks after. So I get it.
Right.
It's going to be an interesting time today and the next week or so, because I don't know what makes us believe that any of these politicians are going to accept the results of these elections. Like, we already know the Republicans won't, okay? But I think Democrats, knowing that it's voter suppression, aren't going to just concede without a legal fight as well in some of these places. So it's going to be interesting.
All right. Well, again, everybody, make sure that, locally, everywhere you go, there's different rules and regulations, so you can look that up and see what's going on.
That's right.
And we have the executive director of Michelle Obama's When We All Vote pulling up right now.
That's right. She'll be joining us next. Stephanie Young.
The great Stephanie Young.
When we come back, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
The Black
Power 105.1. The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
The great
Stephanie Young.
Welcome. Good morning, Stephanie.
Hi,
How you feeling?
She's the executive director of Michelle Obama's When We All Vote.
I am.
What does that mean exactly?
When we all vote?
Yeah.
Well, it literally...
Well, everything, the title.
How's she feeling first?
How are you? Oh, I saw her earlier. I'm sorry. How are you, Stephanie?
I'm feeling okay. Today is going to really be a big day. And I know that we've all heard this, but democracy literally is on the ballot. So I can't help but to be a little nervous. However, over 4 million Americans have voted. That's over 1 million more who voted in 2018, the last midterm election. So I'm a little optimistic as well. Nervous and optimistic, but I'm feeling good. When We All Vote, for those of you who don't know, as Charlamagne mentioned, is Michelle Obama's nonpartisan voting initiative. Our whole mission is to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in every election by closing the voting race and age gap. So what does that mean? That means that we focus on young people. That means that we focus on communities of color at large. But we also pair kind of, on the ground organizing. How are we building people in community to know that they can take action in this space? But then on the flip side, how are we infiltrating culture like the Breakfast Club? How are we having our voice in the mix of the most popular artists and athletes and influencers so that you are getting some sort of message consistently year-round about voting and its importance?
What are some of the pros and cons of social media when it comes to voting?
Well, there's a lot of pros and there are also a lot of cons. I know
literally con artists.
Y'all have heard the word disinformation, which is just another word for lies. And unfortunately, with social media and the rise of social media and the way in which we interact with each other, disinformation spreads so rapidly. And so, a lot of the barriers when it comes to voting is people just not having enough information at their fingertips.
And also people getting attacked if you express your point of view, I think, on social media, or you endorse somebody and then all of a sudden, people are
ruthless,
disgusting.
They are, and they're scary. And I've been on all the sides. But, what we try to do is give you just the bare bones details. How do I get registered? How do I make a plan to vote? What does that look like? We don't tell you who to vote for, but
who's on the ballot?
Who's on the ballot, right? If you go to whenweallvote.org, you can literally see all of those things. You can look at your ballot because it's not a pop quiz. You can read about all the candidates, all the ballot provisions, all of the things, but also you can figure out how to make a plan to vote. And we know that when people actually plan to vote, they're more likely to vote, as opposed to just, waking up on election day and trying to figure stuff out. Because with all the voter suppression that's happened over the last couple of years, there's been over 500 bills that have been either introduced and or passed. So places like my home state of Georgia, Florida, Texas are making it harder and more challenging to vote. You can vote in Texas with a gun license that you can just get because you don't have to have a background check, but you can't vote with your student ID from Prairie View. So, obviously this is very targeted. It's targeted towards Black people. It's targeted towards other people of color. It's targeted towards young people. And it's purposeful because voting is such a powerful tool.
Now, how come When We All Vote can't talk about who they would want you to vote for, especially when you say the stakes are so high and democracy's on the ballot? How come you just can't say, look, this is who you should vote for?
Well, I will always say you should vote for people at least who believe in democracy, right? Because that's what this country is supposed to be. But because we're nonpartisan, because we're a nonprofit organization, it's our tax status. So the IRS deems what is a partisan issue. So they say abortion is a partisan issue. They say climate change is a partisan issue. They say gun violence is a partisan issue. Criminal justice is not a partisan issue. Some
people might say voting is a partisan issue.
And voting is not. It is the bedrock and the foundation of democracy. Democracy literally means of the people or majority rule. And you don't have a democracy if everybody doesn't have equal access to the ballot box. And I've been thinking about this so much because folks are always talking about, well, it doesn't matter. Well, it does. And if you look back and think about how this country was created, right? Voting was only for white landowning men. And it was only when the 15th Amendment came about in the 1800s, we're like, all right, we're going to give it to these 4 million freed African Americans. So what did they do? We voted at high numbers. We had over 20 members in the Senate and Congress. And literally in 1870, Congress said, oh, hell no, we're not going to do this. We don't want these people voting. We don't want them having political power. And we had congressmen from South Carolina and senators from South Carolina. We had so much going for us politically right during, at the beginning of Reconstruction, 1870, they pulled it all back and said, you can basically be discriminated against based on your background, your race, all of the things, right? And it was only in 1965 when Michelle Obama was 1 year old that we were protected. So we only have had, a little over 50 years when it comes to full voting rights.
You just aged the first lady crazy.
Sorry.
By the way.
Well, she's beautiful and black clearly does not crack.
There you go.
This is just showing how recent,
Yeah.
that it's been since we've been even allowed to vote.
Yeah. So if you think about it, if we have been consistent over these last, 50 years, how much voting power we actually could amass, right? How much our government would look different because you have representatives that look like you, right? Who have life experiences as you, right? So right now we have so many people who are representing us who don't know anything about us. And not only that, they don't think our life matters. They don't want to educate our children. There's so many different factors that could be going against us, considering the people that are responsible for our lives. And the majority of elections actually happen at the state and local level, and that's what the midterms are.
So what do you tell people that are scared to vote? Like some people, it's they know it's going to be cold. They can't wait out on lines because they won't have food for hours.
Yeah.
People that can't get to the voting place because they might be old and can't drive.
They might be in Arizona where people are standing at the polls with guns to deter them from voting.
Absolutely. So what do you tell those individuals? And is there any protection for those people?
There is. Look, I mean, voting early and making your plan to vote early, that's why it's so important, so that you aren't standing in line on election day, so that you do have the things that you need, so you can get a ride. Lyft is giving out a discount code through us. You can go to When We All Vote, obviously, and check out that code and get a ride to the polls. Also, we really encourage people to vote together. So what does that mean? It means like you're not doing this by yourself, but you're going with your neighbor, your friend, your sorority sister, your frat brother, whoever, and you all are going together, your family, so that you have obviously some backup. But most importantly, the Lawyers Committee is around literally 24/7, 7 days a week. You can call them 1-866-OUR-VOTE. They are literally ready to take your call, help you fight any type of voter suppression issue that you might encounter. If you do, and if you feel like something's happening that's wrong, you don't leave. You stay there, and don't let someone say, nope, you got to get out. Nope, you stay right there.
Even
you
if they
call
got
that
a gun?
number. Well, if they have a gun, please call 911.
Yeah, go outside.
Don't
just call.
Don't threaten yourself, right? Yeah. But I will say those instances, that we saw in Arizona, those are the minority, right? It's not the majority. And it is used to scare us. Voter suppression it manifests in a multitude of ways. It manifests through the mental, that, okay, my vote doesn't matter, and then through the physical, through either aggression or these laws and these barriers that we see. So we have to understand this is set up, right, to put fear in us and to make us question things.
Right.
Don't do it. Don't do it. And that 1-866-OUR-VOTE number is so incredibly important.
What's the biggest problem you've been seeing with people, trying to vote? What's the biggest thing?
It's misinformation. It's just not like the research showed us, like in 2018, so the last midterm election, where we did see an uptick in voting, was that people literally said, well, I didn't know, young people especially, nobody asked me to vote, which is interesting. But if you think about it, it's either a politician asking, or it's an organization like ours. So that's why we have to reach people kind of where they are. And it's literally, I don't know how. I don't know how to get registered. And I don't feel like I know enough information. We talk about how this is the most important election of our lifetime, every election, but every election is the most important election of our lifetime, because when we don't, vote, someone else is showing up and their values are being represented and not ours. And people have some self-esteem issues when it comes to confidence issues when it comes to going into the ballot box and making a smart choice. And that's why we partner with organizations like Ballot Ready, where you can literally look up everything on your ballot. And nobody knows everything when you go into the voting booth anyway.
All right, we got more with Stephanie Young when we come back. Of course, she's the executive director of When We All Vote. So we'll talk to her some more. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Still kicking it with Stephanie Young. She's the executive director of Michelle Obama's When We All Vote. Charlamagne?
I wanted to ask you about the approach of When We All Vote. Like a year like this year, and they always say that a sitting president the party of the sitting president always loses the midterms.
Yeah.
So how do y'all approach it knowing that is a fact?
Well, first, I mean, since we're nonpartisan, since we're not, this is not Joe Biden's we all vote. This is an organization that stands alone at all times. What the outcome will look like on today doesn't necessarily matter to us. It matters that people are making their voices heard. It matters that more access and opportunity is taking place. It matters that folks are actually voting. So the way in which we approach it and talk about it when it comes to messaging is thinking about this midterm as your local election. There's governors, there's some mayors in places, there's school board chairs that we know PACs have spent millions of dollars into trying to manipulate that process so that our children aren't getting an education that they're worthy of. So, we want people to focus on the midterms as really their local election. These are the people that are going to be representing your interests. And on top of that, there's 27 secretaries of state, and people don't know that position. They don't understand that that is the person who is going to run your elections going forward. And some of those people are election deniers. So what does that mean? That means that folks are setting up for really, a bad situation or scenario when it comes to 2024 and certifying that presidential election. So what I like to say is that voting is an investment. It's the investment that you make in yourself, in your family, in your community, in your city, state, country, all the above, in this democracy. And just like we put money, in the bank every month, or we're supposed to, that acquires over time, right? You see a difference, just like you go to the gym or you don't. When you want that summer body, you have to go in, right? Consistently to get that six pack or whatever you're trying to do. You don't go to school and be like, you know what, I'm done in kindergarten, give me my degree. You don't go to Hampton the first day and be like, I'm done.
Well, Envy might have.
Well, yeah, possibly. Who knows?
Envy definitely might have.
but you can't. But you can't do that. You can't do that. And we don't do that anywhere else. We don't go to church or synagogue or mosque one day and be like, thank you, God, I got all I need from you. Never coming back here again. You make that investment over and over and over again. And voting is not instant gratification.
We are in an instant gratification era, though.
We are, but we got to get out of that. I agree. It's up to people who know better to understand that.
Now, let me ask you a question, right? With voter turnouts been high for the last couple of years, so people always a little discouraged, right? Yeah. They say it is so high. We came out in record numbers, but some of the changes that they want haven't been implemented. So what do you say to that? And I just want to say this. There's only one person here that's never went to college that got his degree for one term.
I didn't get my, first of all, I got an honorary degree from South Carolina State University because of the work I have put in throughout my life.
That's okay. He went there one time.
No, that's my mother's alma mater.
That has nothing to do with you.
Yes, it is.
You didn't go there.
That's my mother's alma mater, and I donate money to them all the time.
My brother-in-law graduated from South Carolina State.
Really? Oh, okay. What year?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Continue.
My sister's like 14 years older than me, so you can do the math. But look, I get it. It is that investment that you are making in people who are supposed to be advocating for you. But, change is unfortunately slow. It is incremental. I think that we have to recognize there's a lot of other forces in the mix. So I mentioned PACs briefly, but, billionaires have put over $800 million into the midterms. They put millions of dollars into those offices for the school board chair.
But you would see why it would be discouraging.
I get it. But there's legislation like the For the People Act that helps to take out money from our politics. There's organizations like In Citizens United that are really working to regulate these things so that a billionaire is not making decisions for you. However, what is everybody afraid of? High voter turnout. And we see that. And that's been happening year after year. So when President Obama was elected for the second time in 2012, what did the Supreme Court do? Oh, well, there's no more racism. Let's gut the Voting Rights Act. Nobody needs protections in, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Texas. Y'all do whatever you want to do. And then what do they do immediately? Crazy voter ID laws, crazy, restrictions on voters, all of these different things, right? So that concerted effort year after year after year after year that only increased after we had major voter turnout in 2020 tells you that no matter what they put up, right, no matter what is happening, no matter how slow progress might be, they know progress is coming. They know that it's here. Gen Z and millennials together are the largest voting bloc. We're bigger than baby boomers at this point. So if we all actually voted, everything would look different. And they know that. So I don't want us to get discouraged on the fact that what we want to happen right now isn't happening, right? I think we have to look at this as a long game. And I like analogies. So if you think about the NBA finals, they're playing every game so they can get to that. The NBA Finals for us is a more just, equal, equitable America. And we have to play in every single game, and every game is an election.
I just think it's frustrating sometimes for voters because it's like, we put these people in office and we want them to do things like protect voting rights. And they don't, and then it always falls in the laps of the voters, and y'all have to come out and it's like the only offense for voter suppression is to have the highest voter turnout in the history of elections.
That's not the only
couple
offense.
Of years.
You're right. That's not the only offense. I mean, there are people who are fighting against this, right? And they are in office in places that sometimes are gerrymandered, where I know this is not nice, and this is a hard thing to swallow as well, where politicians are able to pick their voters because of how they've drawn the congressional maps or their district maps. But there literally is legislation right now that the House has already passed, that the Senate has not taken up, that would address all of these things. So the more we all understand that, the more we're all, paying attention in the mix. I hate saying do your research because we're not researchers, but at least
Google.
Yes, go to When We All Vote.
Go to When We All Vote.
That's what research means, though. Google now.
It does. It means Google. I have people like, I've done my research. I'm like, are you a researcher? No, you're not. But no, in all seriousness, like, we need to take accountability on our own to make sure that we know what's happening, so that we understand that there are a lot of solutions. There are a lot of solutions to the challenges that we're facing, but it is going to be up to us at the end of the day to show up. And look, Chris Rock said it great. He said, when kids are sleepy, they start acting real crazy. And I know, obviously, you guys have kids, so you know this. I'm sure you have nephews like I do. Like, they start acting like lunatics when they're tired. They're screaming, they're crying, they're laughing, they're dancing, they're falling off of stuff. I feel like that's what the country is doing right now. Part of the country, because they know that it is changing so rapidly when it comes to what this country looks like, who is going to be in power, all of those different things. So we're seeing a gigantic temper tantrum. Literally every single day we're living through one, because the other side really is coming.
All right, we got more with Stephanie Young when we come back. Of course, she's the executive director of When We All Vote. So we'll talk to her some more. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Stephanie Young. She's the executive director of Michelle Obama's When We All Vote. Yee.
Stephanie, you also, When We All Vote, has partnered up with a dating app. Black, and it's no voting, no voting.
Oh, Lord.
Well, first off, When We All Vote has many partners. So that is not our video, like, point blank period. So we did not say, hey, do that. And we did not support it financially or anything like that. Well, we do through our partnerships.
But
and
it does go to When We All Vote when you click.
And I'm going to explain that. But let's just think about this, like, in all seriousness. If you look at the work that we do, why in the heck would we go from what we do, which is really soft and sweet, to like that?
No voting, no bucking.
It makes absolutely no sense.
And what is bucking?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They couldn't say F, so they used the V so they can use
it.
So
cute slogan.
I thought that was some new.
So let me be super clear again. That is not our video, but BLK is a partner, and they became a partner this summer. And they're a part of Match. They are the largest Black dating app. One thing that they decided to do, which was really cool, which was to say, okay, we could make people match based on the issues that they care about. So you care about healthcare, you care about criminal justice, like, you can match with people. They used our election center for people to get registered and vote. That's how we partner with people. Now, when you go to a concert, right? Okay, you're going to go to a concert, you're going to see whoever you're going to see. The moment you click, okay, buy tickets, it takes you to Ticketmaster.
Right.
That's the technology to get the ticket to go to the concert. We were the technology that they used
to get people to
to get people
to vote, right?
Oh, okay.
But that was not, and our partners create their own stuff.
Gotcha.
They do. Like, we partner with so many people, and they create their own things, and at the end of the day, like, it's not something that related to me, but I wasn't the audience, and I wasn't, we weren't checking the box off.
Oh, how would you feel if you were laying next to somebody and you're like, who are you voting? When are you going to vote? Oh, I don't do that.
Yeah,
I don't believe in that.
I can tell you, I don't do that either. I don't.
This is getting awkward.
You don't do what?
Buck.
Is that what you what?
Oh, Jesus. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's like you have to vote. You got to vote.
Yeah, we got to vote. Why,
how did we get here?
How did we get here?
Well, on another note, why do Democrats think sometimes the only way to get voters engaged is through those type of campaigns?
It's through bucking?
Well, I don't know if it's Democrats.
Yeah, I think I've seen all kinds of different campaigns that I'm like, what's going on here?
I think it's more insulting when it's us, though, because it's black, and we like, that's the only way y'all think y'all can reach us?
But I think you have to remember, that was an app. That was a dating app. That was not a political party. Like, what have you seen what the Democrats actually have put out or what Republicans actually put out? Like, you have to watch that to see what they actually put out in the world. But I can think of multiple caricatures of Black people that elected officials have put out.
Some raps.
Consistently, you know, like, because, you know, for whatever reason that they feel like they are trying to reach or appeal to our audience or think that we're a monolith, like, they were appealing to their audience about dating. That's them. So, like, I think it's unfair, and I don't think it's right to say that that's. I mean, they're not the Democratic Party.
How do you see if stuff like that works? Like, is there a gauge?
Is it? Well, I mean, like, it all boils down to the numbers. I know that they've registered.
And see.
I know they've registered a good amount of people.
Okay.
I can't say from that one piece of content, but again, that's not the type of content that we would create. And you know, I think, look, we're so diverse. Everybody is attracted to something different, right? And so I think what is unfair for us to do at times is say that if someone saw that video, okay, and they were like, oh, I'm going to think about voting now. I don't know why that's a bad thing.
It's not.
You got to go to multiple places and meet people where they are.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and that has to be everywhere. If
Yeah.
you could be everywhere, you should.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen people coming out with rappers. We've seen people coming on stage. So wherever the people are.
I guess
but we again, like, everybody has a brand, everybody has a style. Like, that's not us. But, you know, like, if that appeals to your audience, that appeals to your audience.
I guess the confusion for people sometimes is like, democracy is at stake. This ain't really speaking to the urgency of the moment.
I think it seems
an
kinda
ad
cheesy,
like that.
a little bit cheesy.
Look, I mean, people take cheesy, cheap shots, all the different things.
But it gets attention, and I think sometimes even just being able to break through, because sometimes it is hard to break through.
It is extremely hard to break through, and the word civic engagement is boring as hell. No, when you say civic engagement, people turn their heads down and they're looking around.
You have a town hall and barely anybody shows up.
No, I mean, like, all the work that we do at When We All Vote, we're like begging for people to pay attention to the work that we're doing consistently, right? But we do have a really good following, a good base of folks who are into this, but this is hard work. It's challenging holistically, but I think that, like, we try to oversimplify stuff. Like, oh, look, that's what Democrats or that's what Republicans do. It's deeper. It's much deeper and much more nuanced than we think.
How can people support? How can they make sure they support you guys, whether it's financially or just being out there, whatever they need?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple ways. You can literally just donate to us at whenweallvote.org. You could also, if you want to volunteer in your community, we have some really cool programming and organizing work. So you can become a voting squad captain, where, you know, you guys could be your own squad, where you make a plan to vote together. You actually physically go vote together. We also host parties at the polls. We had over 200 parties at the polls this year, where community organizers with us and partners literally hosted celebratory events at polling places. And
are they allowed to do that still?
Yeah, you can.
Everywhere?
You can.
I never know what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Not get food or something in some places.
Georgia, you can't hand out water in line. But
what?
Yeah, it's silly. But what we can do is you can be a certain distance from a polling place and you can host a celebratory event. You can.
Good to know. Okay.
You can. So we did that all over the country. I just was in Philly for what we did there. You know, you can also, if you're in high school, we have a program called My School Votes. Our kids aren't getting civics education, so we're trying to teach kids how to not just get registered, but how to advocate for the issues that they care about and how to build campaigns. We also have an HBCU program called Voting Squads as well. It was a Voting Squad Challenge. Hampton has one, where a lot of those kids are actually hosting events today on Election Day. So, like, essentially, like, I want us to be the home for, if you want to do this work and you don't want to be attached to a candidate or political party, you can come in and do this work with us, and you can empower your community to get involved.
Where do you vote? You vote in Georgia?
No.
Oh, okay.
I live in LA now.
Oh, got you.
But I was a Georgia voter.
Because you're from Georgia.
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta.
And I know Herschel Walker's your uncle, so.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I'm not telling you who to vote for or not to vote for.
No, but I...
But again, you guys, all the information on whenweallvote.org, right? Is it
whenweallvote.org.
So if you aren't registered to vote, or you're not sure if you're registered to vote, you don't know where your voting poll is,
you can check your status.
You can check there. Yep, see your status.
You can also find where you can register same day, like in California, like in Michigan. There's many states that you can register same day, and you know what to bring to the polls too, like your ID, all that good stuff.
And last thing, if folks say, you know, these politicians don't do anything for us, why should I vote? What would you say to them?
Every issue you care about is connected to voting, whether it's your access to an abortion, whether it's education, whether it's financial, economic, everything is attached to voting. So no matter what you care about, right?
Housing,
inflation, all the things are attached to voting. And these are the people that are making decisions for you. And when you do not vote, they are voting. And who is the they? They. They're voting, and they're voting for you on your behalf. And they might not value you, your life, your input, your energy, any of that. So don't give someone else power over your life.
Word. Well, Stephanie, we appreciate
Stephanie
you for
Young,
joining
the
us.
great Stephanie Young.
And it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. DJ, Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk, Riri.
It's time. She's spilling the tea. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Okay, well, Rihanna was at the Prime Video premiere of the Savage Fenty Show Volume 4, and she's been talking about a lot of different things, like being a mother now. Here's what she had to say.
The beginning, it's like you're tripping acid every day. You're like, it's wild, trippy as
Really?
Absolutely. You won't know that because you'll never have the opportunity to actually give birth. You will never have those hormones weirding you out like that and telling you, wait, I have a baby? Oh my God, it's crazy. You look at him and he's yours, but he's a stranger and he's new and you're learning him as he's learning you and learning the world. It's an amazing experience, honestly. Yeah. But the thing that I really, his eye contact, that's some, oh my God. When he looks at me in my eyes, my whole soul is like, I can't tell if it's cold or hot. It's just like dropping. It's like amazing.
It is literally one of the greatest experiences to ever witness. Like watching your queen go through the process of being pregnant, then giving birth, and that whole process from newborn to about 1 year old is just one of the most incredible experiences to watch.
Now, as far as why she hasn't revealed her son's name or shared a photo yet, she told the Washington Post, we just didn't get around to it yet, really. We've just been living. And she also discussed the Super Bowl and what the plans are for that, and also new music, yes or no.
It was a challenge that I welcomed. It was a stage bigger than anything I've ever done. And it's one of those things, like, if I'm going to leave my baby, I'm going to leave my baby for like something special. And I was willing to do it. It was now or never for me, I feel like. Super Bowl is one thing, new music is another thing. Do you hear that, fans? Because I knew the second that I announced this, I said, oh my God, they're going to think my album is coming. I need to get to work.
People did think that.
Absolutely. And do you really appreciate what your queen went through, having your babies?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Many times.
To this day, yeah. Remember, I still got an 11-month-old. So
me too.
Almost a year old.
I got a one-year-old.
Yeah, like she said, the way that your child looks at you, the way that your baby looks at you is no other feeling. It takes away all the worries in the world.
Especially when they can't talk, right? Like when they're young, like my 1-year-old, so she's still forming words, but it's you just know it's love. You just know she has a love for you, and she knows you have a love for her without actually verbally expressing it. It's incredible.
Well, she did say that she had to meet. It's like a stranger. She has to they have to learn you. But I think in your wife's womb, they learn the mother.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they know the mother
absolutely.
as soon as that. Like she knows mom as soon as she come out. He knows mom as soon as that baby's born.
But that's why it hits daddy so hard, because it's like, oh, now we got a connection.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you got to form that. You can't form that till they get out.
Right now, Drake has postponed his upcoming Apollo Theater performance out of respect for Takeoff's funeral. It was supposed to happen on Friday, and that's the same date as Takeoff's funeral at Atlanta State Farm Arena. So now he's going to do that on December 6th, and he also added a second show on December 7th. He said the Apollo show has been moved to allow us to pay respect to our dear friend this weekend. We have added a second date for the fans.
Very honorable.
Yes.
Very honorable. Dropping the clues bombs from Aubrey Graham. Very honorable.
Now, Drake also has hinted at upcoming performances, perhaps a tour with 21 Savage for their new album, Her Loss.
I'm excited for tour.
Yeah.
I'm excited for tour. It's just another opportunity for me to be with my brother and just, our set that night is going to be dangerous.
Oh, God.
It's going to be dangerous. Like,
too many on.
That's a tour in itself. Like, people are going to get a tour within a tour within a tour. Like,
and that was on his table for one show. Now, speaking of 21 Savage and Drake, 21 Savage has said in a Clubhouse chat that nobody from the freshman cover that he was on for XXL could beat him in a versus. Now, if you don't know who was on that cover, It was Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty, Kodak, Denzel Curry, G Herbo, Dave East, Lil Dicky, Designer, and Anderson .Paak. Here's what he said.
Nobody from that versus class beat me. I mean, that freshman cover beat me in those verses. Nobody.
Ooh, so low.
Who was on that cover? Right, Anderson .Paak.
Anderson .Paak.
Yes, a whole
Lil
bunch.
Dicky.
Kodak, the best, the only
Designer
competition.
Kodak, the only one that could really.
Man, they playing.
Hey,
So you could beat Lil Uzi?
Hell yeah.
Uzi got a lot of records.
Let me tell you something. Hey, now, if you know anything about me, you know I love 21 Savage music, but you know I love some Kodak Black music too. That would be a good ass verse.
Well, Kodak responded. If you want to hear,
Uzi a different type of artist than them though.
But Uzi got a lot of records.
Here's what Kodak Black had to say.
Nah, from the jump a little bit, you know, bit. You always been around.
That's right.
Dope.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Yep. Yep.
I admire your confidence though.
Yep.
And that's how you should feel. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm always put myself first over any.
Yup.
Any day too. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, that's cap. You cap that all day, boy.
That's
you
right.
know you cap that, boy. That's cap.
What say?
Basically,
Capped
Kodak
out.
Black said he respectfully disagrees. That's what he said.
Now,
He said he
Designer
respectfully
also
disagrees.
responded.
That was
to
40 seconds. That's all he said. That's
He,
what
he respectfully disagrees. That's what
He
he
said he capped out.
Okay.
All right, now here is Designer, because he was on that list too, and here's what he had to say.
Hey man, why you talking like that? Man, you're 21, one platinum 20 times. You know what I mean? I'm just chilling right now. I ain't even dropping none right now. I quit rap for a minute. Playing.
So listen, Kodak Black versus 21 Savage, right? That is the verses, right? That is one that we need to see.
You don't think Designer?
Kodak Black, I'm not even talking about Lil Uzi because Lil Uzi is a different type of artist, so I don't even think that like Lil Uzi and 21 is a good matchup. But 21 and Kodak, I'm here for that. Those two brothers right there, dropping a clues bomb for Kodak Black and 21 Savage. Those two are two of my favorite rappers.
What about Designer?
Of this new generation.
What about Designer?
Man, stop, man. Salute to Designer. God bless Designer, man.
He just spoke. You got to at least say something.
That's New York. That's y'all. Y'all talk about that. I'm talking about the brothers from the South, 21 Savage and Kodak Black. Okay, that's Florida and Georgia. I'm from South Carolina. Y'all discuss Designer. Y'all from New York. Go.
Panda.
What y'all think?
Panda.
Do y'all think Designer
He
versus
quit
21?
rap. He quit rap for a while. So.
That's his answer. He quit rap.
That's what he said.
Yeah, pull up Panda, man. They're going to go disrespect Designer like that.
All right, well, that is your rumor reports.
They ain't going to pull it up? Brad, you hating on New York? Charlamagne, you got Donkey today coming up?
That's a shame. That's a shame that two New York personalities can't find that record.
I'm just saying, pull it up.
I don't know that it's my job to find the record.
4 after the hour, I need the University of Mississippi to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with them, please.
All right, we'll get to that next. Did you find Designer, Panda? It's about to load up. Give it 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Oh my God.
5.
What are y'all doing?
4, 3. No, it's not gonna happen. All right, Donkey today's up next. Is the Breakfast
That's
Club. Good morning.
By the way.
I try to find
The
it.
Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
There are so many podcasts out right now, and it takes a team of people to bring them together. Whether you're hiring for a podcast or for your growing business, one place makes it easy. ZipRecruiter, and now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/breakfast.
Charlamagne say the gang dunk it of the day, man.
You are a donkey. It's time for Donkey of the Day.
Donkey of the Day does not discriminate. I might not have the song of the day, but I got the donkey of the day.
So if you ever feel I need to be a donkey, man, hit me with the heat.
Yeah, it's the Breakfast Club, bitches. Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Yeah, salute the Designer. I just don't see the catalog. Like, I don't see the catalog for a versus.
Nah, not for
I don't
Designer
see
and
it.
21.
I don't see it.
He's dope, though.
Donkey of the Day for Monday, November 8th. Election Day goes to the University of Mississippi. Now, a couple of months ago, I gave the biggest hee-haw to former governor of Mississippi, Phil Bryant, and Brett Favre, because at the time, never-before-seen text messages showed that Phil Bryant was trying to shepherd a proposal to use welfare funds on the construction of a new volleyball stadium for retired NFL player Brett Favre. A project prosecutors have called a scheme to defraud the government. You know why they called it that? Because it is. All right. Now, this is just a centerpiece in a bigger criminal scandal where prominent officials misspent or stole millions in welfare funds intended for the poor and disenfranchised residents of Mississippi, a state that has the highest rate of poverty in America, okay? If you didn't know, the then governor even guided Brett Favre on how to write a funding proposal so that it could be accepted by the Mississippi Department of Human Services. And this is after Governor Bryant fired former welfare agency director John Davis for suspected fraud. You get rid of the welfare agency director for suspected fraud only to turn around and commit fraud yourself. The text messages show that Governor Bryant, Brett Favre, and others worked together to channel at least $5 million of the state's welfare funds to build a new volleyball stadium at the University of Southern Mississippi, where Brett Favre's daughter played the sport. Now, the messages also showed that Favre received a separate $1.1 million welfare contract, to promote the program. Well, he got $1.1 million of the welfare money to promote the program, okay? He was supposed to give some speeches that he never made. Now, according to reports, Favre has since paid back the $1.1 million. He was paid for speeches and appearances. He did that back in 2001, but there's still a sticking point over about $228,000 in interest that is still outstanding. And I don't know if he will be facing any criminal charges, but he's lost a lot of business ventures and endorsement deals. Odyssey Health and Hallow are two of the endorsement deals he lost. And 6 people have been charged with wrongdoing, and 5 have pled guilty. The people are John Davis, Nancy New, Zach New, Ann McGrew, Brett DiBiase, okay? And the Mississippi Department of Human Services brought a civil lawsuit against more than 35 people and entities, including Brett Favre and the Mississippi Community Education Center, to recover some of that money. I'm just getting y'all up to speed before I tell you why the University of Mississippi is getting the biggest hee-haw today, because I see the narrative, okay, this talking point that everyone, everybody's on Kyrie, but nobody's talking about what's going on with Brett Favre. It's because we're not talking about Brett Favre. Okay, at what point will y'all realize that traditional media is more often than not reacting to what everybody is talking about online? So if they see y'all talking and debating about Kyrie Irving online, that's what they take to TV and everywhere else, because all the information you want on the Brett Favre Mississippi scandal is available. I gave them donkey today a few months ago. Did you know Brett Favre paid the $1.1 million back? Did you know Brett Favre lost business ventures and endorsement deals? Did you know 6 people have faced criminal charges and 5 pled guilty? Did you know? Huh? Well, if you know, spread the word. Now, why is the University of Mississippi getting the biggest hee-haw today? Because if you got $5 million, money intended for the state's poorest, all right, and that money was used to build a volleyball stadium, you would think the University of Mississippi would want to figure out how to return the $5 million in welfare funds. You would think, right? But the school has refused to do so. Instead, they offered this past week to allow, listen to what I'm about to tell you, to allow the welfare department to utilize space on campus to provide programming to the underserved community. Now, if that sounds like some BS, it's because it is. All right, the Department of Human Services released a statement saying that kind of arrangement would be against the federal laws that govern the funds used. Let me read you some technical jargon. As noted in prior audits, use of temporary assistance for needy families funds for the construction of brick and mortar building projects have never been authorized by law, and the Mississippi Department of Human Services cannot accept the University of Mississippi's offer to utilize the building constructed with temporary assistance for needy families in lieu of repayment of the funds, because we believe it to be a continued violation of the law, end quote. Imagine somebody taking money that's intended for you and then offering you a crumb of it. The money was literally for the poor and needy. Y'all used it for a volleyball stadium and got the nerve to offer to utilize the space. Utilize the space? Nah, bro. Run me my check, okay? And the volleyball stadium is not included in the Department of Health and Human Services civil lawsuit against 38 individuals or organizations in an attempt to get back the $24 million in misappropriated welfare funds. But the key word is for now. Because as far as I'm concerned, everyone is on BS. And to everyone involved in Mississippi, ain't no good gonna come to you until you do right by the poor and needy in Mississippi. I'm pointing my silly fingers at you right now, and I want you to remember Proverbs 22:22. Do not exploit the poor because they are poor. Or do you want to hear from the New Living Translation? Don't rob the poor just because you can. God told me to tell y'all that, or y'all gonna find out the hard way. Please let Remy Ma give the University of Mississippi the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw. hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
Can you imagine? You get $5 million. $5 million that's supposed to go to the poor and needy. $5 million in welfare funds. You build this volleyball stadium, and instead of coming up with a plan to give the money back, you offer to utilize your space to provide programming to the underserved community. That's not how that should work. No.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today, sir. Now, when we come back, Stacey Abrams will be joining us.
Via phone, because she's in Georgia.
Yeah, via phone. Yeah, she's out in Georgia.
Elections are today.
Election day is today. Yeah, she's running for governor of Georgia. We're going to talk to her when we come back. So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. JNV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest on the phone line this morning.
Stacey Abrams! Democratic nominee for governor of Georgia.
Good morning.
How you feeling?
Stacey, you don't sound excited. You need a chicken biscuit or something, or some coffee or something now. Got a big day.
I'm excited. I've been up since 5:30, so I'm excited.
Now, did you do any rituals for the blood moon? Because it was a blood moon last night. Did you do anything?
I actually got up to see it this morning at 5. It was over Georgia around 5:25. Got to look at it. Love astronomy, so wanted to see the eclipse.
Did you say a prayer?
I did not say a prayer, but I did watch as a blood red moon got wiped out by a rising sun. So I think that's a good omen.
Okay. All right. So how you feeling this morning? You feel good?
I do. We have seen record turnout across Georgia. We have seen increased enthusiasm by African Americans who've been discounted throughout this campaign. And I believe that we're going to see record lines today. Hopefully not too long, but just enough to make sure that we get this victory.
And can you talk to us about voter suppression and what that looks like for people who are going and waited till election day to go and vote, just so that people know, because we've been discussing that, but I want to hear from you.
And also what they can do if that does happen.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, go to StaceyAbrams.com/vote to get your proper precinct. In 2020, Joe Biden won Georgia with 7,000 provisional ballots that were out of precinct. And what that means is that you were in the right county, but the wrong location. They counted those votes in 2020. They will not count in 22 because of Brian Kemp and Brad Raffensperger. They changed the law. So if you are in the wrong precinct before 5 p.m., your vote doesn't count.
Wow.
So go to the right place before 5 p.m. Now, after 5 p.m., if you happen to be in the wrong place, they will let it count, but try to be in the right place at the very beginning.
Okay.
Number 2, if you have an absentee ballot, they have increased the rejection rates because they made it harder to apply, harder to return. And we know in Cobb County, 1,000 people never even got their ballot. If you have an absentee ballot, take it to the polls, turn it in, make sure they count it. It has to be in by 7 p.m. today. Unless you're in Cobb County. In Cobb County, they're doing something special for you for that 1,000 people. But everyone else, bring your ballot with you. Number 3, stay in line. If you are in line by 7 p.m., you have the right to vote. If you have any questions, call 888-730-5816. That's our voter protection hotline, and we will help make sure you get the help you need. But this is winnable, and we know it's winnable because they are working so hard to convince you not to try. And we know that one of the reasons we had such high early voting is that we've been encouraging people to get it done fast, get it done early, get it out of the way, so that we only have to focus on the folks who had no other choice or didn't know that they could do it a different way. But we can get this done.
Hey, Stacey, why should folks be excited about the early voter turnout in Georgia? Because I think I heard that, 2.5 million people voted early?
Yes.
Why should they be excited? Why your campaign in particular, why are y'all so excited about that?
Okay, in 2018, that number was 2,079,000. That means that 21% more people turned out this time. And for the first time, Democrats won early voting. And so I'm excited because we know that for African American men, they outperformed every other population in terms of their percentage of turnout. And that belies every one of the lies being told about how black men don't care and they're not engaged. And Charlamagne, you know this. You came down to Georgia. Black men care, and we wanted to make sure they were engaged, and we are seeing that turnout. The next highest group was black women, and we know that we show up. But what it signals for us is that there is enthusiasm, but it's also people understand what's at risk and what's at stake. We've lost our right to choose if you're black women in Georgia, if you're women in Georgia. We lost a hospital, the 6th one under one governor. We have 19 more that might shut down in the next 4 years if he gets reelected. We have gun violence that is at an astronomical rate, and he has no plans to make it better, to make us safer. He plans to make it worse and follow Texas's example. And so we are excited about these numbers because it means people are paying attention. It means they do know what's going on, but we need the momentum to stay up and stay high because that's how we get it done today.
Now, Stacey, when you become governor of Georgia, what's the first thing that you're going to do? What's the first plan of attack?
Medicaid expansion. Georgia has 500,000 people who will have health insurance when I get this law passed. 40% of those people are African American. 49% of them are people who work. The next category are often women who are taking care of family members or people who are disabled but haven't qualified for full disability. We've got veterans in there who don't qualify for full VA benefits, who haven't gotten health insurance in Georgia because he's refused to expand Medicaid. You've got a lot of seniors who are not yet 65, but their bodies don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And they need health insurance now. Those seniors you see working in a store, and you're like, why are they still working? It's because they've got to pay for their health care.
Right.
Medicaid expansion covers all of that, and it creates 64,000 jobs, and it goes to all of the places where people don't have insurance, which means it gets to those corners of our communities that are always left out.
All right, we got more with Stacey Abrams when we come back. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. It's election day. We still have Stacey Abrams on the line. She's running for governor of Georgia. Yee.
Stacey Abrams, I wanted to ask you, I've seen so many different articles saying that black men are leaving the Democratic Party, and you just talked about how black men are turning out in record numbers to vote. Where is this misinformation coming from, and what do you think it's doing to affect this election?
It's misinformation coming from Republicans, coming from the same pundits who just want to create a story. And every year there's a new story about what's going wrong and how the world is ending for certain communities. They want to put us against each other. But they also want to undermine our faith in ourselves and our power. And I think for black men in particular, what we have watched happen is this confluence of not only narrative, but disrespect. The fact that people got mad at me for actually hosting events with black men and tried to turn it into a negative, I respect black men. I know that I've got to ask for every single vote. I heard your earlier guest who was talking about the fact that people don't get asked for their votes. I ask. I don't take any.
Oh, that was Stephanie Young from When We All Vote. Yep.
Yeah, you have to ask, and you have to respect that different communities have different challenges. And that's why I talk to women about reproductive care, but I also talk about being able to finance your business. I talk to black men about the ability to finance your business, but also the opportunity to get an education without going into debt. And because in Georgia we have such a high incarceration rate, the ability to come out of prison, come out of jail and incarceration, and actually be on a road to redemption versus a road to recidivism. And we've got to have all of those conversations. But when you relegate black men to a stereotype and you do not treat them with the respect and the intentionality they deserve, then we get what we sow. And my intention is to sow seeds of opportunity and to show respect, and we think it's working.
Hey, Stacey, I know you got to go because you are. It's a big day. It's election day.
Right.
How important is my last question? How important is it for you to personally win this election? You lost last time by 55,000 votes. If it was that close again, could you personally stomach another close loss like that?
I'm not going to have to think about it because we're going to show up. But let me tell you why.
There you go.
I am the only candidate who wants more for our people, more for our community. Brian Kemp has banned books. He's banned abortion. He's banned background checks for guns. He has canceled hospitals. And he has eliminated our freedoms. I want more money in our pocket, more opportunity in our communities, more freedom in our lives. And Georgia has hit the Powerball. We've got $6.6 billion sitting in the budget for the next governor to spend on our needs.
Wow.
He wants to give it to the wealthy. I want to give it to the people. And all it takes is 55,724 more people showing up. People showing up all day, showing their values, casting their votes, and believing in the victory, because together we can get this done.
Hey, all eyes
All right.
on Georgia. Stacey, you know we rooting for you.
Appreciate you for checking in too. Get out there and vote today. Make sure you're out there. Like Stacey said, if you get online at 7:00, don't leave line. If there's a problem, what's the website again, Stacey?
StaceyAbrams.com/vote.
And hopefully we'll be at a victory party. I'm bringing you chicken sandwiches.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. It's Stacey Abrams. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Rumors on the way. Thank you, Stacey.
Thank you, guys.
Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk.
Say it, Envy.
Besides
Me?
myself.
Me?
And besides
Me?
nowhere near you.
Me?
No.
Me?
The sexiest man alive.
Hey.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
Talk
So,
about me.
who do y'all think is the sexiest man alive?
You're looking at him.
We'll talk about some prior sexy men, and this is according to People. Michael B. Jordan, John Legend, Dwayne Johnson, Idris Elba, Adam Levine, Richard Gere, Channing Tatum, David Beckham. They've all been the sexiest man alive. But this year's
Myself too.
sexiest man alive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who is it?
You know him for playing Captain America
I played that
in
in my
Marvel's
bedroom.
Avengers franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Evans. Woo!
I'm not gonna lie, I was ready to hate and say, I don't need those European beauty standards of what sexy is.
But he is sexy to you.
He's sexy to you?
That is America's ass. That is. I can see why they would say that about Chris Evans. Yes.
Yes, and he said, my mom will be so happy. She's proud of everything I do.
Grow the hell up, man.
But this is something she can really brag about.
This guy's so stupid, man.
All right, you done giggling?
No, because I said that's well, if you watch Marvel movies, you understand why I said that's America's ass. But then this guy gonna go out.
All right, so you agree?
Oh my God. Yes, Chris Evans is a
Okay.
good-looking man.
All
Yes,
right.
he is. Who's the Chris Evans?
Now let's talk about Cher. She has a new man, and she is about 40 years older than him. So Alexander. It's actually Amber Rose's child's father, her ex, Alexandra A.E. Edwards. So apparently, she's been responding to people on social media, and she posted a picture of her and the two of them walking together. He's 36 years old, by the way.
How old is she at 90 what?
She's not 90.
She's like
anything.
76.
You guys, stop it.
How old is
I
she?
think she's like 70.
So I was close.
Let me look.
Yeah, but good for him. I think that's he's also I think
Yeah, she's
Tiger's
76. Wow.
Yeah, I said 76. I think that's Tiger's manager at A&R.
All right, so people were talking to her on social media, and she was responding. Somebody said, Cher, your crew loves just a heads up. Girlfriend, we want you to be happy, but dude has a history of cheating.
You think Cher care?
She said, babe, English is my first language. I'm in love, not blinded by it. Know what I know. Smoke doesn't always mean fire.
She is 76 years old. Imagine her tripping off that
Somebody
young man.
said, yes, 40-year age difference. Only Cher, I love it. And she responded, love doesn't know math. It sees love.
Now, if a man was to say that, that is a sick thing to say. Love don't know math. Imagine a man saying that when he was dating a younger woman.
I mean, they're of age. He's 36 still. It's not like he's underage.
Yeah, that's true, but damn.
All right.
All I know is Cher don't care. Cher, like, go do your thing, man. I'm 40 years older than you. I'm tired. Okay, come over here on Saturdays and go do what you got to do any other time of the week, all right?
My goodness.
All right, now Kevin Hart
Rub my
was
feet. Soak my feet in Epsom salt for me, baby.
on the latest episode of $1 Million Worth of Game, and he talked about getting robbed coming from the laundromat with his mom.
Man, my mom got robbed. Damn. You want to hear the crazy part? Coming from the laundromat. My mom used to carry this little fanny pack, orange fanny pack. Dude came out. He said, get that up, bitch. And my mom was like, no.
What?
Swear to God. Listen,
Black women back then was different. They was different.
He said, you think I'm playing with you? Get that up. My mom was like, it's nothing in it. No. I don't even know what to do. I'm shocked that I'm looking at a gun. He snatched it off. He go through it. My mom had a bunch of tokens in there, right? The guy get mad. He throw it at my mom. He broke threw the fanny pack at her. Hit her. She said, I told you there was nothing in it. Picked it back up. Come on, Kevin. And act like nothing happened. I never walked up that street again.
Sounds like Philadelphia to me.
Glad things worked out.
Only in Philly will a broke person with a pistol rob another broke person and then get mad at the other person being broke. That sounds like dropping the clues bomb in Philadelphia.
All right, now let's talk about Monster, that Jeffrey Dahmer story. That is actually going to be an anthology now. They've renewed Monster for seasons 2 and 3 at Netflix.
An anthology?
Well, it's going to follow other monstrous figures.
I was about to say, how many more people can Jeffrey Dahmer kill?
I was like, I thought it was over.
Yeah, so it's going to follow somebody else. So I guess as an anthology, they'll focus on different characters.
Serial killers.
Trauma cells.
All right, The Watcher has also been renewed for season 2. It's loosely based on a true story, and a family moves into their dream home, and then they start getting these mysterious letters. So I know you guys, you haven't watched that yet?
No.
I watched the
No.
whole season, the first season.
I haven't. And also, too, man, if that monster series is just going to keep trying to humanize, those serial killers like that, they can keep it. Because that's all they did with the Jeffrey Dahmer thing was try to humanize him.
I didn't see it.
You can't call it monster if you're going to be, humanizing the so-called monster.
We did learn a lot of things that I didn't know prior to watching it, though. Because they did say part of it was also showing how people, and especially the black women in the neighborhood, were saying this is happening here, and nothing was being done by the police.
Yeah, but I feel like that's true, but I feel like that whole narrative got lost compared to, he came up in a bad family and his parents treated him like X, Y, and Z.
Because even in the very first episode, I was like, so they just not going to pay attention to her? She's complaining about all of this. She's saying all these things are happening. She's calling the police, and they just ignore her?
Well, maybe it'll make people care when they hear things like this now. Because they'll always think, well, maybe it's a Jeffrey Dahmer
And
situation.
there's one scene where the cop returns this
little
underage
boy,
boy to the house, even though, he's outside. He has no ID. You could tell he's disoriented. He's been drugged. And the neighbors are like, yo, what happened to the kid? Like, is he okay?
That's true, but that's like the first couple episodes. By the end of the series, there's people sympathizing with Jeffrey Dahmer.
I don't think I felt any sympathy for him
I didn't.
when I was watching
I see it, though.
I didn't feel that.
That's why he's got this fan club now. People showing up at his dad's house throwing panties and all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about Aaron Carter. So reports reveal that a lot of people close to him were concerned for his well-being during his final days, and cops did find cans of compressed air at the death scene as well. So at this time, they're not sure what led to him drowning in the bathtub, but they do provide a clue into how much he was struggling to battle the demon of addiction. So they said it was in the bathroom and in the bedroom, and there was also a collection of prescription pills that they found. Now, police do believe that he was submerged in the water for some time. There was a smell of decomposition in the air, and the water was an unnatural color, and the tub's jets were still running when he was discovered dead as well. All right, Chrisette Michele revealed that she is going through a divorce, and she's been going through this for 3 years from her estranged husband, Doug Biggs Ellison. You know him, right, Envy?
Yeah. Yep. Biggs used to manage her, I think, too, as well. He used to manage Chinks as well. Rapper Chinks.
She said, I'm in the middle of a 3-year divorce. It's lasted longer than the actual marriage did. She posted this on her social media. She said, would you say a kind word about me to your father? Some days when I'm traveling, I'm heading to court cases. I smile, but I might feel sad that day and wear my shades. Some days I'm listening to the latest Karen Kingsbury book while headed to the gym for a fun workout with my trainer. I might feel full of joy and excitement. And still, some days I feel a little happiness and a little disappointment at the very same time. She said, I never mention it because people tend to have a narrative about how long one should stay broken. I refuse to stay broken. People also have narratives about the hearts of humans who choose divorce. I've decided to liberate my experience anyway. And so she talked about how she actually does feel. All right, and that is your rumor report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. All right, now make sure you get out there and vote. Today, of course, is Election Day. And also November 27th, don't forget, I'm heading to Huntsville, Alabama. I'm bringing my car show, the Drive Your Dreams car show. So all surrounding cities, Birmingham, Montgomery, parts of Memphis, Georgia, Florida, come on out. Kids 5 and under are free. Family fun day. There's rides, there's amusement things. So can't wait to see you guys November 27th. I'm bringing my family. So hopefully my family can meet your family. All right? It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
This fall, a great night's sleep starts at Mattress Firm. Right now, get king beds for queen prices, queen beds for twin prices, and save up to $700 on select mattresses from top brands. Visit a store near you or mattressfirm.com today.
Everybody, is DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. All right, now it's time to get up out of here. I got to go vote.
Gotta go vote, man. Gotta go
I'm
vote.
on my way right now.
Yes, make sure you go vote. We definitely are all going to vote right now. And I cannot wait to see what happens on the news later today. The CNNs, the MSNBCs, the Fox News. Oh, it's going to be fun entertainment. Y'all think y'all like reality shows. Y'all think 90 Day Fiancé good. Wait until these 90 days of vote counting. Okay? That's going to be interesting. But make sure you stream my late night talk show, Hell of a Week, on Paramount Plus right now. The last episode with Joe Coscarelli, Tiffany Cross, and Donnell Rollins is available for your viewing pleasure. And we'll be back with a new episode this Thursday at 11:30 p.m. on Comedy Central. And the positive note is simply this. As long as poverty, injustice, and gross inequality exist in our world, none of us can truly rest. Because if a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. Believe that.
Breakfast Club, bitches! Y'all finished or y'all done?